Fame. I'm Josh. This is Calvin. Calvin, say hello again, please.
I'll try and sound less like James May this time.
Well, too late
Hello.
now. Anyway,
So, you were saying about Nintendo 64.
yes, the N64 really kind of put this idea of the upgradable console in our heads, but no one really jumped on it. And the expansion pack, right? It smoothed out visuals, it made games run smoother, you know, so on and so forth. And it made them that much better. And I remember playing Vigilante 8 with my brother all the time after the expansion. We got the expansion pack and, you know, put it in. Same thing with Perfect Dark ran better. Both fantastic games. So I guess the idea has always kind of been around, but no one ever really just jumped on it. You know what I'm saying? It just, I don't know. I do think we're going to see both Neo and Xbox 1.5 or whatever the fuck they're calling it. And by the way, I do think it's stupid that Nintendo is doing their own little separate show to show off the NX. It doesn't make sense. It really genuinely doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, it's weird, isn't it? Because, again, like I was saying in part 1, it feels like we're kind of because we're so used to console cycles and where they should be, it's kind of like we're coming into a new console generation and not even realizing it. You know, with NX, PS4 Neo, and the new Xbox, whatever that new Xbox is, it's like we've had a 2.5-year generation, and that is, you know, so much shorter than what we're used to. You know, maybe we're just used to something, and it is normal, and we don't know what normal is anymore.
Yeah, I hope that we are both wrong, and that this isn't like this new generation of consoles that
the only thing they can do is drop.
We buy an upgrade.
If they drop the price of the PS4 dramatically, then maybe that'll be their saving grace, and they've got to come out with something at the show at E3. Dude. They've got to come out with something. Like, there's got to be a way around this.
Explain themselves.
I'm gonna be fucking eagerly watching that shit.
Like, they really need to address the rumors. Like, I know companies don't necessarily do that, you know, especially right out the box. But like, no one ever says we cannot comment or speculate on rumors, right? They always say that.
Of course.
But this is the one time I think, all right, we know you guys have been here because Sony's been doing everything right.
I know.
Like, they're
so surely they want to like explain themselves and, you know, be like, hey, okay, we've heard that you've heard these messages. Here's the deal. Or maybe they're just saving it for E3 and they want to have a great show. I don't know. You know.
I mean, we always look forward to the press conference, man. Press conference is fucking huge. It's always fun. Though I felt last year was kind of lacking.
Yeah, it was pretty shitty last year.
It just wasn't. There was no, hey, look at me. I mean, yeah, they showed off. I think it was The Last Guardian was last year. Finally, after so long, you know, we finally got answers about that game. By the way, that I believe is going to be here. We're going to see a lot more of that.
It wouldn't surprise me if we saw GT Sport as well. Let's just talk about E3, fuck it. It wouldn't surprise me if we saw, we'll explain ourselves at the end. It wouldn't surprise me if we saw GT Sport, it really, really wouldn't, because it feels like it's, you know, after that leak, that it's going to launch alongside PSVR. It feels like it's kind of on the cusp of being announced, and E3 is a perfect place. But they generally don't announce their shit at E3, do they? Like, Polyphony announced, I think Gran Turismo 6 was announced at TGS, wasn't it?
Yeah, PD usually saves their shit for TGS. Though we did get, if you remember, when they announced Gran Turismo 6, we did get launch dates, but then we got delays. Like, it was supposed to be out in March of like the following year, and then it got delayed once, and then it got delayed again.
Yeah.
When PD, you know, puts a date on everything, as you and I both know, we don't pay attention to that shit. The game will come when it comes. Now, when a developer like Naughty Dog delays a game, they don't delay it but maybe a month, and that's only to fine-tune little things. Like, the game is practically done.
Yeah.
You saw that with The Last of Us. You saw it with Uncharted 4, which, by the way, you have purchased and said it's absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I would even, I would go on a limb and I would not be surprised to see The Last of Us 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. By the time E3 rolls around, Uncharted will be out, as it is now, and it will be out for a good amount of time. And that almost seems like a really good time to say, hey, here's a teaser of what to expect, from Naughty Dog next. Right? Because Naughty Dog is done with Uncharted. That is, that's the end of the run. Uncharted 4 is the end.
That's it.
At least with Naughty Dog. Now, I wouldn't put it past, Sony to see another Uncharted game by a different developer.
See, now you're just talking. Now you're rambling. Doesn't make to me. That sounds. I'm not trying to put your ideas down. That just sounds so far-fetched, man. That they'd do that.
Well, crazier things have happened. I'm not saying that's going to happen at E3, though. I do think The Last of Us 2 will be at E3.
Really, I don't think they'd announce. We know The Last of Us 2 is real. But I wouldn't have thought that it was going to be that. I thought they'd let the Uncharted 4 kind of wave of excitement continue to flow over the nation. That was unexpectedly powerful, but yeah, I don't think they'll announce it.
Maybe that's my bold prediction. I'll put it that way.
Does that mean I'm going to have a bold prediction?
Yeah, sure, why not?
My bold prediction sticks with Naughty Dog then. And my bold prediction is they will announce a new Crash Bandicoot game at E3.
Ooh.
As their new game.
Well, that seems more logical than mine.
But we know but we don't know that's real. They've teased it, but we don't know that's real. We know that The Last of Us 2 is real. Because there's been leaks and shit, like minor leaks. There's those certain leaks you see that you just think, yeah, that's real.
Yeah, like there's no way that can't be real.
Yeah, and that's.
I also think, now I've not played Uncharted 4, but I know there's that Easter egg where Drake plays Crash Bandicoot.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yep. Sorry if I spoiled anything for you. That's really the only thing I know about Uncharted 4.
Now as long as it didn't spoil the story, that's fine.
Yeah, no. I don't think it spoils the story or anything, but you do see him play and, try and beat, whatever his girlfriend's name is, her high score. Elena, there you go. It's really cool. I hope you get a chance to check it out. I'm sure you will, as you own the game. You're, 3 levels in, you said, so.
Yeah. Go out and buy Uncharted 4. Everyone, please.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Excellent. It just really is excellent. Unless you own an Xbox, in which case you should buy a PlayStation and then buy Uncharted 4. Or get the bundle. They've got a bundle, so you can always buy the bundle.
Yeah.
Save yourself some moolah.
But if you're looking to jump from Xbox to PS4, wait to see if Neo is going to be a real thing or not. We'd hate to see you get screwed.
Yes, good point.
Also,
yes.
I don't know if you're a big Final Fantasy VII fan, but that is definitely going to be there.
Oh, the remastered remake thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a fan of JRPGs. I don't like the whole turn-based shit.
I'm big into it, but I have to have one that really sings to me, and there's not been one in a long time. Like, I have a very hard time playing a lot of Final Fantasy games nowadays, and like with 15 coming up, obviously I think we're going to see that at E3 as well, but I think the big story as far as Final Fantasy goes, and JRPGs for that matter, is that yes, they announced the remake finally last year, and I think we're just going to get you know, a good bit more info on that game as well. From what I understand, it's going to be episodic. You know, episode 1, episode 2, da 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 da.
Okay.
I don't know if that's such a good idea, but it is kind of like, you know, disc 1, disc 2, disc 3. You know, good old days PS1.
I don't think they'd do that, but yeah. Episodic would be quite cool. Kind of like in the vein of the PS1 days when they had the discs. Yeah, that'd be cool if that was there. But I think obviously the crux of the show for PlayStation is definitely going to be Neo, I think, and VR. Sadly, I don't think they're going to care too much about Vita. But
no, and you know that's such a shame, man.
I hate it, and you love it.
What, the Vita?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Oh, dude, the Vita's awesome, man.
No, man.
You know, I've got a Slim now, and you know, my old Fat that I broke a week after, you know, it fixed itself, pretty much. I don't know, like, the Vita has such great potential, and I just think Sony just kind of, you know, left it go. I think it was released at the wrong time. I don't think we'll see another Vita announcement, you know, or like a PSP 3 or you know, anything to that effect. That isn't gonna happen for a while. Mobile games and tablets, that has taken over, and the only company that can really stand up to them is, like, you know, Nintendo with the Game Boys.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been too much of a staple to, you know, for Sony to enter that market again.
Yeah, I think it's a very hard market to get into unless, and they've already conquered it. I mean, unless they just copied Nintendo, which would just, you know, look bad. So,
but Neo is definitely still the big story, it seems, man.
100%, yeah, definitely.
I still think it's a bad idea.
Yep,
This
I know.
suit,
As I said, they're gonna have to come out with some type of shit that's convincing as fuck, or we're gonna, you know, be in for a hell of a year, marketing-wise.
The marketing is probably the key thing here, dude.
Yeah. How are they gonna market it exactly?
Yep. How do you tell the customers, you know, the millions upon millions of people who have already purchased, you know, this brilliant console, which is not going anywhere anytime soon? How do you tell them, yes, you know, here's a better version of that console, but your console will still play all the same games? You know, like, man,
I know, it's weird, isn't it?
It's tedious. That's a very tedious. I don't know, man.
Well, I'll tell you what we can do, actually, just interjecting. We've got 2 minutes left of this episode. Let's do another episode where we explain who we are as well. Just so we don't have to rush through it.
You know.
Because we're on 13 minutes.
Absolutely. Well, either way.
Because we have a 15-minute limit, hence the name. And PlayStation's restrictions.
No shit, right? But yeah, so, I mean, we're getting down to that, you know, that marker. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been, you know, 15 minutes of fame. It's not always exactly 15 minutes, but we try to get it as close as possible. This is our part 2 of our very first episode.
And
we
then we'll
will have an introductory.
Yeah.
Give you guys a little bit of info on both of us, where we come from and how everything started. And yeah, sounds exciting.
Let's call it quits.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this has been 15 Minutes of Fame, our big E3 episode, PlayStation Neo. In the future, all things Sony. Thanks for watching, listening. Stay tuned.
Etc. Yeah. Peace out. Alright. What the fuck? Why not? Yeah, probably.